stream raw TV. Today this video is a message, and this message is going to fall on many deaf ears. I know it is when they see this, but the people that are in the predicament or at the point in time right now where that understand what I'm talking about are going to get it. So I guess this is for you guys. For those of you that's going to fall on deaf ears, I hope that many years from now when you look back, you may possibly remember this video and what I'm saying. Like, that's my goal, is to, you know, these videos that I put up, you may not gonna remember everything, but at some point, somewhere down the road, if you didn't apply something now that you've learned from the videos, that you go, I remember hearing this or seeing this or whatever, I don't remember where, but I remember this. And it's gonna be my voice in your head that you don't know who the fuck I am or remember where it came from, but it's there, okay? You remember it and you can apply it then. So that's, you know, that being said, I'm looking at a lot of these Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, these guys that put 100% into the training, the lifting, and every single post, every single everything is about training. It's not about life. It's not about themselves. It's not about others. It's about training. It's about huge. It's about strong. It's about lifting. I get it. And that's cool. That's what your page is devoted to. It's a personal page. You know, you open up a personal page, there's not like a single picture of your dog on it or your fucking wife or your kids or anything. It's just lift. And some of you are so young you don't have those things yet. Lift huge, and that's all it is. And you actually push the envelope and try to accomplish those goals, which I get. I get 100% that you have to stay so focused on those goals that there's not time for anything else. I get that. But there comes a point in time, you know, that is going to be gone. I promise you, it's going to happen to you. And I am in the same boat that you're in right now. I don't believe that. I believe that I was going to be big and strong for the rest of my fucking life, and I was going to be a bodybuilder, and I was going to live the California lifestyle, and nothing was going to matter, and, you know, riches were going to come to me once I made it pro, and I was going to fucking make all this money and have contracts and be in magazines, and you're so focused on that. And now that, you know, the magazine stuff that are gone by the wayside, it's social media. Everybody's going to be the next social media star, and they're going to have companies chasing them and throwing money after them, and they're going to be the fucking money team of the fitness industry and all this shit. And that shit's going to come crashing down. And what happens when that happens? You know, I've been talking to Phil Herndon about it, Skip LaCour. What happens when you're 40 years old and your literal identity is just about being huge? So I walked around at my heaviest at over 270 pounds. Coming from a 135-pound teenager when I started to 270 is that's a long road. And I did it in a short period of time. And you cannot help but identify as that 270-pound person, monster, whatever the fuck you want to call it, that everybody knows you as now. So when I walked in the room, everybody's like, who the fuck is that big guy? 270 pounds of 5'8.5" is a fucking big dude. Even if you're not lean, it's a big fucking person to not be fat by normal standards, right? And you identify that, and your ego grows from that. Your identity becomes that big guy. And I used to see the guys around me that were the bigger guys, that were older, shrinking up and coming off the drugs and changing their lifestyles, and now having to decide, what the fuck am I going to do? Because I wasted so much time and money and effort getting big and identifying, making myself this thing that really isn't me. It's just not. It's not who you are. It's a false sense of reality. That big, strong guy that you produced out of your own imagination, that came to fruition through the use of anabolic drugs, is not reality. It's a short-lived, your own little reality that you've created. However, when that goes away, what are you left with? You don't get it. You don't see down the road how it fucks with your psyche. It really does damage your psyche walking around that big. You can't maintain it. You can't keep it. You're not gonna die well, you might die, the 270-pound monster that fucking you created. But if you are lucky enough to get older and not harm yourself and die at an early age, that guy's gonna be gone. And you slowly, see, my fucking brain's still swole, slowly dwindle down to what you were before you started taking the drugs. And in my head, I was like, the drugs are not doing that much. It's all the hard work, it's all the determination, it's all the fucking willpower I have, it's the day in, the day out, the grind, it's all that shit. I'm doing it, the drugs are not doing it. Well, here I stand before you, 195 pounds. You know, 270 to 195, and I fucking trained as hard as I could. I still ate the food. I actually cleaned up my diet, trying to keep the muscle, to make sure I was hitting my protein needs and my carb needs, and not just fucking throwing out on a whim, eating whatever the fuck I wanted. And slowly it dwindled away. And the first time this ever happened was back in 2009. I decided that I was going to completely stop all anabolic drugs. I was like, the girl that I was dating, Carrie, was a natural competitor. And this is a 100% true, heartfelt opening my book to you guys to know what I went through and how I felt and what happened. And I was like, if I'm going to be dating this natural competitor and, you know, she can do it natural and she doesn't really like the drugs, or she's against the drugs and all this type of stuff, well, then I should do that too. You know, I'm moving in that direction. I don't need the drugs. I can come off the drugs and maintain most of it. This is what I was thinking. Maintain most of it and still compete. Maybe not be as big as I was, but I could still be a light heavyweight. I could still fine, let's do that. Came off all the drugs. The first month wasn't so bad. Lose a little bit of definition, lose a little bit of that solid, you know, puffed out look, the full look that you have. Second month, still looking pretty good. I was right. Drugs didn't do that much. The third month, my weight started to decline. And I ate and I trained and my weight was going down. The muscle mass was coming off. I was looking softer. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? I get down to 173 pounds. That's what I weighed. And I think when I came off the drugs, it was about 230 to 173 in about 3 months. In that last month is when it really started kicking in. Like my body really just did not fucking respond to anything. Didn't matter what I did. As a 100% natural with no TRT, no HRT, no fucking, none of that shit. None of the stuff that people consider half natty or whatever, I was off. When I say off, I was off. No HCG, no estrogen blockers, no testosterone, no nothing. Nothing. I realized I was 173, which is where I fucking started before I took the fucking steroids. It was the same exact fucking weight that I got down to. So literally within 3 months' time, I went from being that built, bigger, stronger guy to where I fucking started, which was a shock because I spent fucking like 18, 19 years taking the drugs and training as hard as I could. But in my head, it wasn't the drugs. It was my hard work. It was all that stuff that was making me that 230-pound monster. Now, even at 173, I looked pretty good. For the average person, I looked pretty good, but I didn't look spectacular, and I didn't look like I belonged walking around the Arnold in a fucking tank top. And that really fucking sunk into my head. That hit me so hard that I called my friend and I said, look, don't make fun of me, but I need a bottle of test. I need to go back on. I'm just going to go back on testosterone to level my levels out, and blah, 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 blah. Well, I started like 3 or 4 cc's of test a week. Well, what do you think happens when that happens? You blow back up fucking quick. In 4 weeks, I was back up to fucking over 220 pounds. And, you know, everybody's like, oh, welcome back, Jerry. You look good. They were seeing the person again, and I was listening to them and identifying and making myself feel better by saying, oh, I'm back. I'm me. I'm back. The drugs were making me me. That reality that I created in my head from taking the drugs in the first place made me me. It wasn't really me. I was a 173-pound fucking guy that, you know, clearly, you know, I had not letting go of what I was. And that's when I started going back and forth, and I did wind up competing again, taking some more drugs again. 2009, I think, so I went off the drugs in 2009. 2010 was a little iffy because I was like, I don't want to take that much, so I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. And in 2011, pretty much everything I got was fake, which made it even worse, and my physique looked like shit then. And then 2012 came along, and I found some real stuff, and my body developed again. And again, I thought, oh, this is my fucking hard work. This is me fucking training hard. 2013, I went hard with the drugs to produce what I feel like was my best look ever, being as lean as I had ever been. Took DNP, did the things, went off the fucking deep end as far as drugs for me. And that's when I really realized, I said, I can't do this anymore. Like, I'm pushing the drugs. I don't even have myself anymore. I've lost myself and created a fucking monster that, not monster size-wise, but monster that's never going to go away, in the fact that if I have to keep taking these drugs for me to feel like who I am. But now, who am I? Because when these drugs are gone, who the fuck am I? And it really sent me into a spiral in 2013 as to what am I going to do? And that's when I took 2013 off, the rest of 2013 off, went just on TRT dosages, which allowed me to maintain the mass that, you know, I had built naturally, because I had actually lost mass that I built naturally because my testosterone levels are so low that, you know, I couldn't even keep the mass that I built naturally before I started the drugs. So went to a doctor, got on TRT, got my levels normal to where I was a normal for my age, and started to really think about things and say, what am I going to do? Like, I'm never going to turn pro. I don't have that type of physique. I don't have that type of talent. I don't have the genetics. It doesn't matter how hard I work. I've created this physique. I've created this facade or this persona that I've had for the last fucking 18 years of being a big, muscular, jacked up guy. Even my friends that knew me growing up now know me as this new guy. I can't just go back to being this guy, but why not? Why can't I just go back to being what I was before? Is it not good enough? Not good enough for who? It didn't matter who I was as a person. Didn't mean I didn't train hard, didn't work hard, didn't fucking enjoy my life. It just meant that I was putting drugs in my body to do something that was unnatural that I couldn't do naturally, and then fooling myself into thinking it was the right thing to do. And don't get me wrong, I don't regret any of it. I don't regret a single fucking injection I took. I don't regret a single pill that I took. I regret none of it. I apologize for fucking none of it. But at the same time, it will come to an end for every single one of us. And, you know, I mean, people look at me now and they go, oh, you look better now. And they say shit like that to me, and I'm like, what? In my head, I'm still like, dude, I was fucking so much better when I was 50 pounds heavier. But, you know, I'm starting to realize in the grand scheme of things, I was trying to impress the rest of the world. I wasn't doing it for me. I wasn't doing bodybuilding because it was for me. I was competing because I loved the challenge, but I could have competed as a natural for the rest of my life, right? What difference would it make? I'll challenge myself for the rest of my life, compete natural, but that's not what I did. I went to drug group because I was trying to impress the other people around me. Wow, the gains. Wow, he's big. Wow, he's cool. He's this, he's that. It wasn't even about like to get girls, which everything I did when I was younger was to get girls, right? As a teenager, everything like, you know, I comb my hair a certain way because the chicks like that better. Like, it changed into I was trying to impress the people around me for them to be like, good job. I was looking for reassurance. I was looking for reinforcement, positive reinforcement, whatever. Anybody to validate the fact that what I was doing was good and I was good. I was good enough. You know, when people that knew me saw me grow, they were like, oh man, you're fucking killing it. You're doing awesome, man. I'll keep it up. Awesome. And all of that goes away. That reinforcement. So when it's all said and done, you literally have to know yourself, love yourself, know who you are, enjoy who you are, enjoy your life. And trust me, many of you right now, you don't realize it, but you don't even know who you are. You've lost yourself in this shit. You've absolutely fucking got it in your head that what you're doing right now is going to last forever. You don't give a fuck what happens 5, 10, 15 years. You don't give a shit. But I promise you, that fucking time will sneak up on you, and you don't even realize it. All of a sudden, you're 40 years old like that. And the guys that were 40 telling me when I was younger, I used to fucking laugh at them, call them old fucks, shut the fuck up, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm different, I'm young, I got fucking genetics, you don't. I mean, everything that I said to them is changing now that I understand. And I was such a little fucking cunt when I was younger. I mean, plain and simple, there's no other way to put it. I was a punk-ass cunt when I was little. Younger, not little. When I was a little kid, I was good. But when I was younger, I was a fucking asshole. You know, I didn't listen. And many of you are not going to listen now, and that's cool. By all means, travel your journey down your road, do what you got to do. But some of you are in the position I'm in right now, have been in the position that I'm in right now, and understand what the fuck I'm talking about. And I do feel like it's our responsibility to at least put the bug in these young guys' ears that are, you know, they're wondering, like they're on the fence, like if I do this and take all these drugs, this may pay off like this, but it may not. If it doesn't, who are you? What are you going to do? What are you about? You know, Skip LaCour and I talked on his interview about the guys that are 40-something years old now. They can't even support themselves because they've wasted everything. They haven't learned any new skills. Their social skills fucking suck unless it's somebody from the fucking gym. Then, you know, then they can get along with them. So talk about protein, talk about biceps, talk about steroids. That's it. They're a one-dimensional individual at the end of this fucking journey that's bodybuilding. And bodybuilding journey doesn't have to end. You know, the stuff that we have nowadays in social media and, you know, the media in general, there's so many opportunities in the fitness industry and bodybuilding in general where you don't have to be a jacked up, huge bodybuilder to do these things. And, you know, if you have a carved name out for yourself, that's great. That name will still exist. Your reputation, your name, everything will still exist when you don't weigh 290 pounds anymore. It will. I promise it will. If you don't, you know, look like fucking Jay Cutler for the rest of your life, you know, even Jay, if he dropped 50 pounds, he's still going to be Jay Cutler. People are still going to love him. People are still going to listen to him. They're going to go to him for advice. They're going to follow him. Like, nothing's going to change you if you lose that weight because people don't really give a fuck. I'm noticing more and more people are tuning into this channel not to see me lift weights because I put up a video of me training in the gym. Nobody gives a fuck. The videos that I have up of me training in the gym when I was bigger get less views on probably what's going to happen on this video right here. People really, you know, nowadays, they want to see real people. They want to know who you are. They want to know about you. They want to know what they can relate to in your life and what you're about and if you're like them. You know, yeah, it's great if you can lift heavy weights, but at the end of the day, they don't remember if you lifted fucking 500 pounds. At the end of the day, in the gym, when you leave the gym, those guys may be looking at you, bench press 400 pounds. You're like, wow, oh my God, he's so strong. That's so fucking great. Walk out the door and they're going to go, fuck. They don't remember. They see you in the gym the next time. They're like, I don't know that guy. Maybe they don't remember what you did. They don't give a fuck. The girls that walk by, they don't give a fuck if you're bench pressing 400 pounds. They give a fuck if you're nice, though, if you have depth, if you can have a conversation. So guys, don't be one-dimensional. I guess the whole take-home from this is, don't be one-dimensional, and through this journey, don't really lose yourself. Because you're going to become something that you're really not. And when that's taken from you or goes away, you have to give it up. You're left with that shell of what you were before, that you should have been growing and learning and becoming something better than just a bodybuilder. A bodybuilder is not who you are. It's just one facet of what makes you you, what makes you an individual. There's all kinds of other things that I gave up, like playing guitar, drawing. I mean, all kinds of other stuff that I just thought was fucking stupid because I was a bodybuilder. You know, like that, you know, design. You know, I went to school for advertising design. The shirt that I'm wearing right now, I designed. I designed it with a specific reason for a certain reason. The slogan, the print, the way the material fits, the cut, everything. I gave all that stuff up when I was younger to be a bodybuilder. And here I am at 41, deciding I miss those things. That's who I really was. It's who I really am. Am I still a bodybuilder? At heart, yes. I go to the gym all the time. Not every day, because I don't like training every day. I train 2 on, 1 off, 2 on, 2 off. That's my thing. But when I go to the gym, I try to focus, try to push myself as hard as I can. And when I leave the gym, I'm still a bodybuilder, but I'm many other things, and so are you. BicepsTraining@gmail.com. Leave comments down below, but don't fight. www.bicepstraining.com is the blog. It's the bicep is still there, even if it's not that big, and we're out.